What's up, everybody? Remember Stephen Harper? He was the Prime Minister between 2006 and 2015. It didn't end well for Harper, but he's back and he's dropping bombs on how bad things are in Canada for Canadians, what the issues are, why Trudeau has to go, what his chances are in the next election. There's a lot of things he discusses here. It's quite revealing to watch Stephen Harper back in action speaking about Canada.
I would describe the current Canadian foreign policy as seeking non-strategic autonomy, seemingly fights with everyone for no apparent reason. Real income, the per capita income of Canadians is actually declining. For that reason alone, the government is 20 points behind in the polls and will be defeated in 2 years.
Prime Minister Harper, I can't resist but ask you, so pardon me. How's Canada doing? I mean, look, I don't know how to phrase this question, but millions are talking about your country. You must be happy, right?
I'm trying to be diplomatic about this. We've talked, and I've heard you talk, Samir, about parts of the world, India certainly, that's so central to ORF, the Gulf, and maybe a few others seeking what you call strategic autonomy.
Correct.
I would describe the current Canadian foreign policy as seeking non-strategic autonomy. That is seemingly fights with everyone for no apparent reason. So look, we'll just leave that aside. Look, the reality in Canada is this, and look, I'm not a supporter of the government. I think everyone knows that. So my views won't be a big surprise, but I think objectively speaking, first of all, I might dispute with David about how well the American economy is actually doing. It's clearly not doing well in Canada. In fact, the real income, the per capita income of Canadians is actually declining in the last couple of years. And there are very few prospects of growth. For that reason alone, the government is 20 points behind in the polls and will be defeated in 2 years. So that's kind of the prospects for Canada. And I don't think, you know, there's always, of course, a chance that a government's in trouble, seeks a bunch of new policies to turn things around, but I think we're likely looking at 2 long years and then a change of government, and then we'll see what happens.
Your assessment of what's happening in Afghanistan, why have you forgotten about Afghanistan? I think that's a fair question to ask. We move to the next crisis. Nothing has been done about the previous one. And there's a question that was asked by James, Africa. And is it time to get our act together, work together as a coalition from the Indo-Pacific to Europe, to put together something which is worthwhile for that continent?
I would reiterate some of the things said. When I said there needs to be a reassertion of American and broader Western leadership, I'm not referring just to security. I do think we've also kind of lost the focus on development leadership as well. And I think that's the coordination and the development and the really getting into that business back into that business in a very meaningful way with a very different model than the Chinese and Russians others are offering is something very important that needs to be done.
And Afghanistan?
Well, look, all I can say about Afghanistan is I just, like as you know, I'm a philosophical conservative, and I continue to be just very, very frustrated by the number of decisions I see being made in the world that are just not based on kind of firm international policy reality. I remember at the time Afghanistan was falling through the unprovoked surrender of the Biden administration. The word out there, well, it wasn't going to be so bad because this was a new Taliban and they'd learned. Like who could realistically think the Taliban would be different the second time than they were the first time? And I say, I just keep hoping that somehow we will banish these kinds of notions in our thinking and bring a lot more hard-headedness to international affairs, because the Afghanistan thing is a disaster.
So Stephen Harper, what do you think? I didn't like him when he was Prime Minister. A funny story about that. I was at a hockey game where the PMO's office was taking pictures. You could meet Stephen Harper, the Prime Minister. I told my buddy, I'm going to go up there and give him a piece of my mind. I chickened out at the last minute and just got a picture with him and the current Premier of Nova Scotia. Pretty funny. I'm a chicken. Like and subscribe. Canadian politics. We're learning all about it right here. Having a great time. We'll share that with you. So Like and subscribe, get notified, share it with somebody. We have fun on this channel all the time. We'll catch you next video. We do the live question period reviews every day broadcasts. Check those out. We'll catch you next video. Thanks for watching.